Dear students, as we have discussed earlier, that the cell is made up of plasma membrane, nucleus and cytoplasm. And we have already discussed about plasma membrane and its structure and nucleus. So today we will be continuing with the cytoplasm. So what is cytoplasm? So cytoplasm is the fluid present inside the cell, but it is the portion of the cell which is outside the nucleus. As you must be remembering that the nucleus contains the nucleoplasm, and the nucleoplasm and cytoplasm of the cell are separated from each other with the help of the nuclear membrane. So the fluid which is present inside the cell but outside the nucleus is known as cytoplasm. So it is the larger region of the cell which is enclosed by cell membrane. The cytoplasm is surrounded by cell membrane. Now next is the nature of the cytoplasm. How is the nature of the cytoplasm? It is transparent, it is jelly-like substance, semi-solid ground substance in which various cell organelles are present. We will be discussing about these different cell organelles in detail later in this chapter. So what are the main components of this cytoplasm? This cytoplasm mainly consists of water, and it also contains fats, proteins, carbohydrates and various organic substances. What is the function of this cytoplasm? It helps in exchange of materials between the different cell organelles. It also acts as the site of chemical reactions like glycolysis. So the glycolysis, Calvin cycle, C3 pathway, C4 pathway, you will be studying about all these biochemical activities in detail in your higher classes. Now another thing is that whenever you are going to stain a cell, then the cytoplasm takes very little stain. Okay. Now as you can see in this figure, this is a figure of one cell which is surrounded by a cell membrane. Here at the center you can see the nucleus which is surrounded by the nuclear membrane. So the fluid substance which is present inside the cell is known as the cytoplasm. The fluid substance which is present inside the nucleus, it is known as nucleoplasm, and both this cytoplasm and nucleoplasm are separated by the nuclear membrane. So this is the larger portion of the cell which is present, or which is the fluid like component of the cell which is present outside the nucleus. And as you can see very well here, the different cell organelles which we'll be discussing later in this chapter are present or are suspended in the ground substance, that is the cytoplasm of the cell. So now we have studied much about the cell and its different components. Now we will be studying the difference between the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. So the major characters on the basis of which we will be differentiating between both the cells are the size, nuclear region, chromosomes, membrane bound organelles, cell division, nucleus, ribosomes and their examples. So let us take them one by one. So first of all, we'll start with the size. The size of the prokaryotic cell is generally small. It varies from 1 to 10 microns. In case of the eukaryotic cell, the size is generally large and it varies from 5 to 100 micrometers. Now comes the nuclear region. In case of the prokaryotic cell, the nuclear region is not well defined. The nucleus is not found. Nucleoid is there and there is no nuclear membrane. The nucleoid is not surrounded by the nuclear membrane, while in case of the eukaryotic cell there is a well defined nucleus and nuclear region which is surrounded by the nuclear membrane. Now comes the chromosome. The prokaryotic cell contains single and circular chromosome, while in case of the eukaryotic cell the chromosomes are more than one and they are linear in shape. Now the membrane bound organelles are absent in prokaryotic cell while they are present in the eukaryotic cell, and we will be discussing about them. Now comes the cell division. Cell division is simple fission in case of the prokaryotic cell, while it is mitosis and meiosis in case of the eukaryotic cell. Now the nucleus, the prokaryotic cell lack true nucleus, while in case of the eukaryotic cell true nucleus is present. The ribosomes are scattered in the cytoplasm in case of the prokaryotic cell, and they are smaller in size, while in case of the eukaryotic cell they are bigger in size, and they can be found either freely present in the cytoplasm, or they are found attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. So now some of the examples of prokaryotic cells are bacteria and blue-green algae, while in case of the eukaryotic cells they are plants, animals and fungi. So now let us understand it by these figures of the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. As you can clearly see, the size of the prokaryotic cell varies from 0.1 to 10 micrometer. It is smaller in size, while in case of the eukaryotic cell it is varying from 10 to 100 microns, and it is bigger in size. The ribosomes are seen scattered into the cytoplasm, while in case of the eukaryotic cell they can be found scattered also, or they can be found attached on the endoplasmic reticulum also. The nucleus, you can see it is very well defined nucleus along with the nuclear membrane. Nuclear region is well defined, surrounded by the nuclear membrane, while in case of the prokaryotic cell true nucleus is lacking, and the nuclear region, nucleoid region, is not surrounded by any nuclear membrane. Okay, so these are the few differences between the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. So students, we will stop today here only, and we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you very much.